Today, Nintendo had a special event and still didn't announce the Silk Song release date. They didn't talk about Silk Song at all.
Okay, but I will say that yesterday I got an email from Nintendo.
Yeah, I did too. It was like, did you know you could be playing Silk Song right
Silk
now?
Silk Song's out on the Switch, and it's like a week ago it was out on the Switch, my guys.
Do you know what I was doing when I got that email?
Playing Silk Song?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just kind of blown away by the idea. I think, though, that was maybe like they were probably preparing to send it out last Thursday, and then they were like, don't send anything. Don't let anybody know.
No.
The shop is fucked. Just wait.
I mean, you send that kind of thing a few days later to remind people of the thing of like, hey, the thing is out now.
Yeah, it's in your cart.
Not as a...
It's like I keep
people
getting...
who've got it wish listed will have gotten their first emails and stuff too, right?
I keep getting messages being like, hey, you can buy a Switch 2 now if you want.
I don't get those.
Yeah. Nintendo sent me like a couple of those. Anyway. Hey, everybody.
Anyway.
Welcome to ChillPoint, show where we talk about the week's video game news, as well as episode of Checkpoint. And technically, we're sort of two episodes in because we didn't have a ChillPoint last week because of
There was no news last week.
The Spider-Mans.
There was Silk Song.
That's true. Because of
That's
Silk
all
Song,
I was doing.
Nobody was doing anything other than being Spider-Man. Is what we were doing last Saturday. But anyway,
there are spiders in Silk Song.
It's true. There are spider peoples of various types.
Weavers and things.
I was gonna actually just quickly take a look to see if there was anything in particular about last week that we wanted to talk about, but last week was last week.
Yeah, that's fair.
Generally, we're like partially ahead sometimes too, depending on when news actually lands. So I feel like if it was important, we would have talked about it.
Or would more stuff would have been released about it. Anyway, let's talk about Checkpoint.
Yeah, I don't remember what any of the stories were because of what happened this morning, so I need a refresher.
Well, to start with, it turns out for some people, Silk Song is quite difficult.
You don't say.
For some lesser gamers,
Okay.
Silk Song is difficult.
That's yes.
I know that it's been easy street for you.
I still die. I don't think I'm not swearing.
I mean, okay, I've been saying
He just sworn so much at home.
I've been cursing so much at home. But last night, after Heather streamed for however many hours she streamed for,
Conservative 3.
yeah, she showed up to the couch and I was like, "Can I play Silk Song?" She's like, "Yes." And so I jumped on and I opened up because I'm like, I'm just gonna go to X area, and then but you were like, you could also go fight that guy that I said that maybe you want to just wait on a little bit. That was the guy that I didn't want to fight is just off the Marrow. It's into an area called Hunter's Marsh.
It was more like I just didn't want you to go all the way there, die, and then be really angry because you didn't find the nearby bench.
Yeah. So I went to Hunter's March and and there's a guy who's like right at the entrance and you fight him. And I was like, okay, great, I did that. And you don't get anything. Like after you defeat him, he doesn't drop like sweet katana or anything like that. Like he's just
How rude.
Yeah, and I was like, what is the whole point is he's just stopping you from getting into this area.
Yeah.
And then you get into that area and it's a bunch of jumping around and avoiding spikes. And it's like, okay, that's
The reward is winning.
Yeah, the reward is winning the thing. And so I played most of that area. because we did look at the map
just
and we're like,
defeated that guy for no reason.
and Heather did tell me, she's like, over here is a guy that I don't think you want to go. Maybe you can go fight him if you want, but he's a guy who's giving me trouble. I'm like, oh, I'm giving my wife trouble. I don't want to go anywhere near him. So I left and said, well, then I'm going to go to this other area and I'm going to go through there. And it's called Sinner's Road. And so I opened up this one area. I managed to do a thing to get a mask shard out of another little bit. Like I did a bunch of like little things last night, and I was like, I had like 3 mini boss fights and or 2 mini boss fights and like a couple of those like locked off mob fights where you have to like fight a whole bunch of dudes. And I explored most of an area, and I was like, yeah, I died a few times, but in the course of about 2 hours or 3 hours, I really like uncovered more bits of the game and felt like that night, like last night, I felt really accomplished. Like I was actually really doing something. And I did say to Heather, I'm like, the fact that I'm dying at this like big mob fight and I have to do the run back to get back to this location to do it, and I have to jump on all these red flowers and I have to avoid all these spikes and whatever, it actually is making me better at doing it.
Yeah,
because I
the
am
run back
practicing
makes
it.
you better at the parkour.
Yeah, it makes you better at the traversal, and I'm kind of like, okay, I guess I can accept that sometimes these runbacks are not a bad idea when it's this kind of thing.
You would do better in the fights when you go and redo them if you would take a deep breath and not try to force the fight to go faster, because it goes faster in the wrong way.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But you never talk shit about me while I was fighting, and I appreciate that.
Well, of course not.
I'm trying my hardest.
Only
I know you're trying
afterwards.
really hard.
Yeah.
I know the game is hard for other people. Apparently, I do not think Sister Splinter needs nerfing. Like, I just do not. I do not get that one at all. But fine, I'm willing to concede on Morwing.
Yeah.
Even though I think I did fine on that fight, and that one didn't take me that long. But I can get why people maybe get hit off by that one.
Sure.
But no, Sister Splinter is perfect.
I get the I haven't played Silksong yet. I did play Hollow Knight fairly extensively.
I spent a long part of last night running around with Hornet being naked.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
It's funny. It's super weird.
I do get a little bit of the impression from the the sort of difficulty level. It reminds me a little bit of like the old like Mario the Lost Levels thing, where it's like, because of course it was intended as a DLC, so it's like it's like continuing the difficulty curve from having played the game.
If you had just come off playing Hollow Knight, this should feel like you're entering a part where it's like, oh, it's a little simpler, and then but then the difficulty ramps up.
But obviously a lot of people haven't just come off playing Hollow Knight, or maybe even didn't play Hollow Knight at all.
There's that too.
So it's a little bit of a thing, but
Yeah, I mean, I will concede the fact that it would not bother me at all if they wanted to add an easy mode, or a thing like Celeste, where you got to like turn certain things off or add like certain things on. I would not care. It is a single player game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like
I like the difficulty as is right now. I will agree it's annoying to get hit for 2.
Yes.
On certain things, especially terrain.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not bothered by it particularly.
The idea that on some bosses, especially ones that hit really hard, it's like at least it's not a stagger, right? At least not you get hit and then you're like in stun mode while they hit you like 2 or 3 more times. It really is like you get hit and you get knocked backwards as well. But at least that should clear you out of the zone where you're hopefully going to die. But there is something about I have 6 HP. And there's something about no, I don't. I have 3 HP in this fight. That's all I have.
Because you can only get hit.
I can only get hit 3 times.
Right.
And it's like there's something about that's incredibly discouraging. Where it's like I don't like that it's I don't like that's you immediately get your whole thing of like, I'm fighting a boss, I've got lots of health. It's like, no, you don't. You have less health than you would when you're fighting just mooks.
Right.
And I hate that feeling of the game. It feels artificially hard because I'm getting hit for 2. And that's stuff that I'm like, I don't like when that kind of thing is going on. And I agree with Heather that it's like, because Tunic, I did this as well. Tunic even had a mode where they're like, you can literally just turn on take no damage, like just from the menu.
Take no damage, and you could make the stamina meter not mean anything.
Yeah, and I'm like, things like that, especially in a game that's this challenging, I'm like, I don't see the problem in doing that because...
Yeah, I mean, there's both the... And you can look at it from both the sort of difficulty level and also just the, like, accessibility level. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not against the fact that the devs want to go in and patch things either, because that difficulty, especially in a game that's meant to be hard, is hard to balance with stuff. And if you know a game super well already, then you might not know the difficulty. The playtesters might be really good at difficult games. It depends what you're going for. So I expect there to be patches of the game a little bit, tweaking things here and there. Because the other things they had said were like the cost of certain things would be lowered, or the payouts for other things would be higher and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's other parts of the game that are getting tweaked.
Tweaking aspects of the economy to make it less of a grind.
Like they didn't go in and say, hey, we're going to nerf the difficulty on all bosses or all things. They just mentioned the 2.
One of my favorite things, actually, when you start the game, you end up in the first town you find is called Bone Bottom.
Yeah.
And there's a shop there. And the shopkeeper has a simple key, and it's 500 rosaries. Rosaries are the geo in this game, right? So it's like, it's 500 rosaries. That's crazy expensive for that point in the game. So you have this sense of, oh, that's going to be that's like, I can't buy that right now. Even if I go grind for this, I'd be here for hours trying to grind that much based on the enemies that I'm actually fighting. And then also you're trying to save up 500. Well, you're going to lose it if you die. You got to go back for it over and over. So the saving up of 500, I'm like, oh, this is like one of those things that I've seen in RPGs where they show you the better weapons in the store in the starting thing. So you're like, the guy has a steel sword, but it's 1,200 gold, and I only have 10 gold, so I'm not going to get there that fast. And you may never come back and buy the steel sword from there, but later on you're going to find a steel sword or you're going to find it in whatever. But it's like,
but it's good to know like what you're sort of going for and what the kind of
and you get kind of a thing in your head.
Like.
You get a thing in your head of like, oh, that's important for a reason. I don't know why, and then playing through, like last night, I guess like a few nights ago, it's like I managed to, through a lot of traveling, and got into a place called the Wormways. I found a place that had a padlock that could fit a simple key. I didn't have a simple key. I didn't buy the damn thing yet. But then along the way, I found that, also through a piece of traversal where you would need to be able to dash, and I didn't have a dash at the beginning of the game, I found another door with a simple lock on it. And I'm like, and then last night I found yet another one, and I'm like, wait a second. So all these 3 places where the locks are inaccessible to you unless you've played this far through the game and gotten these methods of traversal. Mm-hmm. So seeing the key at the top of the game, even if you bought it right away, you'd never be able to use it until you're at least 10 to 15 hours into the game. And I thought that's interesting too, that it's like, we're not going to, like, buying the key is not necessary to get through the next point of the game. It's not buy this, get red key, use on red door lock.
Right.
Thing. It's like, this is for something that is going to happen later on, but it's at the start of the game and it's giving you a sense of what's happening. And I did like that it's like the world can exist like this because you're going to be coming back all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cameron wrote this story, and I don't think Cameron has played Silksong.
He's playing Hollow Knight right now.
So Cameron wrote this, and then Beej read it, who has been playing Silksong. So,
and it all felt good.
Yeah.
It felt true.
I really like the currency in this game, the flavor for it, and the tool mod set stuff, and the heal in mid-air. Thank God. I hated healing on the ground as Hollow Knight.
And I was aware
Yeah.
that you could, if you heal, I was aware that you could jump and you could heal, right? But when you're trying to do things, when you're fighting flying enemies, jumping into the air feels to me like I'm just giving you more opportunity to try to hit me while I'm trying to heal.
Yeah, it depends on who you're actually fighting.
You need
Yeah.
to take a step back sometimes and watch the pattern that is being presented to you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the worst things you can do in that game is meet something you've never met before and rush up to it.
Yeah.
It will just smack you.
Yeah. Though parrying is so great.
Heather,
The parrying is much better.
Yeah.
Heather activating that rhythm gaming part of the brain.
I was trying to tell Beach the other night, I was like, it's like playing a rhythm game. I just do the same song over and over again. I'm just doing the same fight over and over again. It's just like a step above because I don't get to see like the exact keys I need to hit. I have to like learn them.
Yeah. But it's like playing music because it is all about building muscle memory around what you expect to happen at a certain time. And then when you see it, your finger wants to move and do the thing. It is amazing to me watching when Heather plays anything that's on hard or harder, like extreme mode or whatever in a rhythm game. And she's just kind of tick, 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 tick. And I'm like, that's
Right.
It's very akin to, it's not sight reading, but it's very akin to practiced music playing.
Your fingers just know where to go after a while.
They do.
Right, yeah. And then you switch to a different controller and everything falls apart.
Yes. Though I do love that, as you've told me, that it's like it's just easier sometimes to tell the Switch. It's like, show me all the PlayStation symbols.
Yeah, in Hatsune Miku on Switch, I can tell it to show me the PlayStation symbols for the game because
Okay.
it's the same game. And that works better for me because I play that game a lot on PlayStation, but it also works better for me because otherwise the symbols say A, B, X, and Y, and I try to read them.
As opposed to
just looking at
see them. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Because the PlayStation symbols are also color coded, so I actually don't see the shapes half the time anymore. I just see the color.
Yeah, I think I like the PlayStation symbols. Like, yeah, I think I like that system better than both the Xbox and Switch one. But anyway, I've been playing my own Metroidvania. I got the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown,
Ah, yes.
which is really good. It's a very, very solid Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
Everyone was playing, you know, all the stuff about Silk Song and Hollow Knight and stuff. I was like, oh man, got a hankering for that Metroidvania. And this, I had like a thing for the like Ubisoft Plus, which is
Right.
Ubisoft Plus Classic.
Great.
Which is what they. It's I had like 6 months of that. The classic is they have is like all their sort of old. It's not even their older games. It's like they're less because it's like Skull and Bones is on there, which came out last year, I think, but nobody likes it, so it's on there. But anyway, if you are into the Metroidvania thing, I highly recommend the Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. Super, super great. Very, very tight controls, tight combat. You say the parrying and stuff. Same deal. Like you've got all sorts of different, really sort of acrobatic moves that you can do, and it makes you feel very like, yeah, I'm doing good.
I've heard that game also has like some really challenging puzzles and stuff in it if you want to. Like they're not necessary to progress, but they're like
there is a like
additional.
There is a like challenge rooms thing, and I've done like one of them, and it took me, and it's just like, you know, like a series of really tricky jumps and zips and all these different things using all the abilities. But anyway, speaking of the Nintendo Direct that is happened this morning, Beach did a story not about that, but about other Nintendo stuff in lieu, because he started the story talking about how he's not going to talk about Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was Thursday at the time.
Yes.
Yes. And this is talking about these two different lawsuits that Nintendo has been engaged in for like both of them for like a while.
Yeah.
I mean, but the first one about this
Well, the Genki one wasn't that long. Because
No, the Genki
what
one
happened,
is from the Switch too.
Yeah,
So
and that
it's
happened
CES.
in May, and they reached a settlement, and it's September. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
so that one happened pretty quickly.
if you reached a settlement that fast, I think it's because you knew that it's like, we're not going to have a fun time trying to fight this. So how do we actually deal with this?
But the this modded hardware
Oh, yeah.
one, this guy, apparently this has been going in process for quite a long time, because this there's a whole part of this where apparently back 10 years ago or
In
so,
2014,
he signed an agreement to stop doing modding and stuff, which I guess would have been on like the Wii U or something at the time.
it would have had to, been that, or at least, or it could also involve things like the 3DS or what
Right.
that as well.
And apparently he signed that and agreed to not do that, and then just kept doing it.
It would be very funny if the whole reason why he kept doing it was because he's like, I'm going to stop doing all this modding for the Wii U or whatever. But when the Switch comes around, I didn't sign an agreement that said I wouldn't do that. Like, who knows what it all
Well,
says.
and also like this, the sort of settlement that they reached. I love that it actually has, that he's handing over modded hardware. He's got this, he's said he can't work on this stuff. But then there's also, it says, also any successor websites, chat rooms, and other media, he can't create successor websites, chat rooms, other social media websites, or apps to break Nintendo's protection measures, right?
Yeah.
So, which I feel like is maybe because he's like, okay, I guess I'll stop doing moddedhardware.com. I am now going to start this completely other different business that's unrelated.
I'm calling it haunted.mardware.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen people do that in the past too,
Yeah,
where their
yeah.
websites get pulled down, so they make it under a different name.
Though I do like the fact that it's also like you can't do anything like at all regarding Nintendo's stuff. And we don't give a shit whether you do this to the Xbox or the PlayStation, obviously,
Well,
because
I mean,
they don't have
that's-
standing there, right?
No.
But I do think that's funny that it's like I guess he could keep selling stuff for all these other whomever, but yeah.
And then I remember this story, the Genki story, at
Oh,
CES.
well, I don't want to gloss over the fact also that this guy, Ryan Daly, opted to act as his own counsel. And also in the court filing, like in the injunction and judgment, in the settlement, it's plaintiff and defendant. And I'm like, was this a criminal trial, or is that just they do the courts also use plaintiff and defendant, maybe in Washington State, to refer to civil matters too?
I think
they
that's
do,
just general.
Because I've seen things like claimant and respondent, like that kind of thing as well, and sometimes there's a clear design through there. So in civil cases, they do also use plaintiff defendant. Okay, but yeah, the fact that he was like, I'll represent myself, and I'm like, I don't think that's a great idea.
I mean, he probably didn't have a ton of money at that point.
That might be the case too,
if he's
right?
been dealing with this shit for like 10 years,
Yeah.
maybe it's the point where it's
I mean,
not
the
feasible.
the parts of the story that sound the most ridiculous are a dude not taking counsel,
Yeah.
showing up and saying, "You don't have copyright on the copyrights."
Yeah, that's the other thing
like
too.
it's just kind of like a weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to read.
Your copyrights are invalid, and it's kind of like I'm sure that there have been other cases that have asserted and
you
defended
can't-
those copyrights.
You can't bring this case to court, I think was the other one. Like,
Oh, you don't have standing to file this suit.
yeah, and I'm like, I think a counsel of any kind would tell you that if the court accepted it, then they probably do.
Well, you do have to complain. You do have to say, I don't think this is true, but it's like, another lawyer would probably not say, we're not filing a suit saying that they don't have standing to bring it, because the judge will think we're idiots, because they clearly do have standing to bring the suit, because you are violating their circumvention. You're violating their circumvention prevention, right? That's a hard thing to say.
Yeah, and it's
There's security measures.
some people in the comments did obviously there is the argument that it's your Switch. Why should Nintendo have authority for what you do or do not do? What
I
you
own the
install on
product.
it.
Absolutely.
So he
and-
was only modding his Switch, is what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah. This
I'm
is
just saying, if your argument is I get to do what I want with my device, I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
And that
I
also-
won't
but that
necessarily. I
also-
won't necessarily disagree with that, but
But then that also includes, buying or selling it or giving it to somebody else to mod it or paying somebody else to mod it.
Yeah.
Or buying this device to run modded things.
Or what if you buy one
It's-
yourself and you mod it and then you sell that device
I mean,
that's modded?
this is where it starts getting into the difference between when you're talking about the consumer protections, where it sort of runs up against the both copyright and also just the general like licensing agreements and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, these things have been fought back and forth in courts in different ways at different times. This is not one of the times that it worked out for the guy.
I will say though, when I think about like flash carts and like doing ROM dumping and stuff like that, like because those were things that he was selling through his site. And when I think about that, I'm like, normally I'd be like, I wouldn't worry so much at, like, obviously having those tools is great because having, being able to have somebody be like, I'm going to back up these games and these ROMs, and that way I know that I have this, and then if my cartridge dies in the future, I have a backup and I can go and use. It's all for personal use. I kind of feel like that shouldn't be a huge deal. But then also the recent stories that we've done about how 3DS carts are slowly degrading because of the quality of the memory that they used in the inside of them, and it's like these things will like deplete over time, and that idea of the game that you own, that you paid for, that you think that I own this thing and it's in my house and it's mine and nobody can really do anything about it. It's like it's actually going to just go away. Like you could just poof in about 25 years.
But we've had that problem with CDs and other things as well.
Exactly right. Like but the idea of like, at least with a CD, I can rip the CD onto my computer. I can do whatever. It's like these cartridges don't have that ability. And I'm like, when I'm in that position where I'm like, the thing that I own is just going to naturally go away and in a way that I didn't expect it to. That's the thing, because I can't repair a cartridge.
Yeah, and I get that. And to be honest, I would love to have a cart that I could put all my cartridge stuff on, so that I could have both and all of that. My issue is that the way that my understanding these carts grab stuff now is, a lot of people are using them and then selling off their games, or they're making copies of their friends' games. And then if you go online and it seems like those both are happening at the same time, you both get zapped. And I'm not happy about that. No.
The distinction between, doing it for your own use and doing it for sales and stuff is it's not really a matter of the technology. It's a matter of sort of how it's being used. And so anyway, it is a larger discussion about this kind of stuff. But anyway, but yeah, so the Genki, this other company.
Yeah.
We talked about this. I believe we did a story about, I don't know if it was on ChillPoint, but we talked about it on ChillPoint anyway, that they, at CES, about a week before Nintendo actually revealed the Switch 2.
Yeah, back in January.
They were showing off accessories for the Switch 2 based on a mock-up Switch 2 that they had 3D printed. And everyone was like, where did you get that?
Yeah. Is that really what it looks like?
Yeah, because there were all kinds of leaks going around for ages, right?
And they were like, we didn't steal it.
It's like, that's not the answer we wanted.
And we didn't sign any NDAs, meaning that we couldn't share it.
Yep.
So this is what it is. And and apparently it was correct. Like, it was accurate, as we found out. So yeah, and interesting. I guess maybe part of the settlement was that they still didn't have to reveal how they got it.
No,
which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, they. I like that. So they not only are have to. They got not only. I don't know if they actually paid a bunch of money, but they had to. They had to have to are sort of kicked out of the Nintendo authorized reseller thing.
I'm not. Were they even in it?
I don't think they were authorized. I think they have to say that they're unlicensed now, but I don't think they.
okay.
They have to assert.
I don't think
in
they
their,
were saying that they were authorized third party or anything like that.
They have to assert in their marketing, which I don't know if that means like when they advertise their stuff, if they have to have a thing below to be like Genki is not an authorized Nintendo or is an unauthorized Nintendo accessory manufacturer or whatever, or if they have to put it like on the boxes or if they have to do something else or.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what Nintendo's third-party accessory system is.
I think it's literally that gold badge. Like if you have it, it's like having the made for iPhone thing as well. It's like if you have the Nintendo official seal on your package, it's like, oh, then you are making stuff that Nintendo officially says.
There's a couple brands that generally are
Powerade,
licensed and stuff, but I think other people who make it are just they're not saying that they're licensed for that or they're authorized for that. And now I think they have to specifically say that they're not.
They not only have to say that they're not licensed, but apparently they can't even use Nintendo colors, which seems like kind of a interesting thing. Like I guess that means they can't make a controller that's red and blue.
I think it's more that they can't, if they're going to make something that acts as like a case or as whatever, and they're like, we need to show a switch inside the case. They can't show a black switch with blue on one side and red on the other side, like the Switch 2 is.
Right. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. They can't show the specific. So in any case, they can't even. And so I like that. It's actually real that they have a bunch of Switch 2 accessories now under the name Glitch.
Yeah.
Glitch accessories.
And Nintendo didn't like
funny.
that either because they were like, we don't like the fact that you're calling it this because we can see what you're doing. You made it rhyme.
Yeah.
And we don't like you using that either. I can't remember if that's even factored into the settlement or not, but I think it was one of the complaints that they brought anyways. It's like there's all these things that are like false advertising and everything else. Because, I mean, why is Nintendo so mad about this? Because somebody showed off the industrial design of the thing that they had been keeping under wraps for a long time.
And been spending a fair amount of effort to keep under wraps.
Yeah, and then they said, here the thing is. And people were like, oh, we were going to find out next week anyway. And I'm like, right. But I don't know, man. Like, when I've planned to do a thing, if somebody leaked all that information a week before I was going to do a big announcement and just here working at this company, it does not make me feel good when somebody just says, "Oh, and then this is happening," and I'm like, "We were working up a whole thing about that." You know,
there's also like a bigger. There's often with these kind of leaks, and I know there's been stuff with like other companies have leaks and stuff. WotC had different things and stuff. A lot of the thing with leaks in these instances is not even necessarily the thing that got leaked, but the concept that there is it's that there is a leak within the company. Yeah. So it's like not even that particular piece of information, but the idea that information in general is getting out of the company in some way is the thing that they want to track down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you have an accessory company that, that thing was going to be released publicly as information a week later, they happened to be at CES, they wanted to show that stuff off there. But if they had waited, let's just say somebody had given them that information, like they had a person who was like, I'm not going to make you send an NDA, but I know you're going to want to get your stuff done as soon as possible, so here's the specs you got to work with. And that can be really cool. That means that you can have your stuff ready day one when people are going to want to actually buy things.
And now you got to jump on all your competitors.
If you do that earlier, then the thing's being released, the person you're going to put in the most danger is the person who gave you that info.
Well, and then there's also if one company making accessories is seen to have the specs before other companies, I can also see the idea that now other companies are coming to Nintendo and being like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why did you messed up our competitive position? And they're like, it wasn't us, but that could mess with their.
Yeah, it's like we were making stuff for this. We were waiting for you to announce your thing so that we could announce our things. And now these guys jump ahead and do whatever. Why did you let them do that? We didn't let them do that.
Yeah. And
Well, you get your
and you know,
get
it's
your
not
house
like
in order.
Yeah.
it's not like I want Genki to get sued or any of those things. Whatever, companies are companies.
Yeah.
But I still still remember being at a friend event, hanging out with a bunch of people, and a person I knew who worked for a fairly large company at the time coming downstairs and being really excited because on Monday they were going to release this thing. They were going to showcase all this work that she'd been working on, and it had been leaked that morning. And just the look on her face, I was like, yeah, I never want to have anything to do with leaks. Never mind. It's
Yeah.
wow.
And I mean,
It
you
feels
know,
awful.
yeah, and like I said, it's happened to us with Magic stuff. You know, we get WotC gives us cards to premiere,
Yeah.
but occasionally it's happened
Yeah.
where they've leaked before that, and so
Yeah.
now our sort of thing from premiering the card is worthless.
Yeah,
I'm
companies are not people, but they are still made up of people who work hard to do things. And
I'm seeing in chat there's a conversation about colors because the whole thing about they can't use the Switch 2 colors, and it's like that's
I'm assuming they mean that in the context of advertising the
Yeah.
Switch stuff.
and
But-
probably in a specific style.
yeah, it's not about they can't ever use black, they can't use blue, they can't use red. That's not what this is about. And I think it's funny because I was in reading this, it's like, all right, Unknown Friday though says, try to paint a car Ferrari Rosso, the Ferrari red. And I'm like, right, if you release an item that has, like if I put out because they did this one time, they put out Ferrari laptops, right? If you put out a Ferrari laptop, you're going to make it red, or you're going to have the red on it, and you're going to have the same kind of red that Ferrari is. But that just having a red laptop doesn't actually say anything about that Ferrari is backing this thing. But what would is if you paint the thing red and then you have a shield that has a yellow dollop of color, like if it's a yellow shield on the thing, right? Because Ferrari's logo is that, and having that combination of a field of red with a little yellow in it. Like if I did an abstract painting that was like, and I paint this whole thing red, and then I put like a weird, like kind of like our triangle, but like pointing down. It's like I put a weird little thing that's yellow in there. People walking past it will be like, Ferrari. Like they will recognize the combination of colors in the method in which I've done it. But I didn't paint a Ferrari, and I didn't paint maybe the same red, and I didn't paint the same yellow, but the combination thereof in that configuration evokes Ferrari. And then they might be like, that's weird that you did that, or thank you for your fan art, or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's people can say that it will cause confusion in the marketplace.
It could if I was doing a product based on that,
yeah.
right? And so in this case, it's like, it's not that Nintendo's asserting we own blue and red. What they're asserting is that we own the visual language that would put a little bit of blue here and a little bit of red here, because we've spent 7 years building that up of putting blue and red on the sides of our Switch. And
I mean, this isn't even. I feel like this isn't even Nintendo asserting that.
Oh, that's true.
As a whole,
They don't.
This is just this particular agreement is they agree.
They can't do that.
Not to do it.
We agree not to use that representation because we understand that it will give people the sense that it's a Switch too. But there's nothing about saying Nintendo saying we own this. They're just saying we don't want you to be able to do this because we don't want people to come up with the same understanding. And I'm like, yeah, that's a fine line, because it is almost like saying, well, they say that they own this. It's like that's not what's going on here. But it is like we're gonna hamstring you. And that's like what happened to Ryan Daly as well. It's right. The things you reach in a settlement a lot of times are agreements to do or to not do something, not because it's the purview of any specific party, but as a thing to prevent you from doing a thing in the future. And these are the things we've agreed to allow that to happen that way. And I'm like, yeah, that's not saying I own this thing outright, but it is saying that you are prevented from doing this thing.
Yeah, and those kinds of agreements are over and above the actual, like the sort of baseline stuff that everybody else has to follow.
And that could be anything, right? It's like you're not allowed to tie up your package with green twine anymore because that green twine evokes the Xbox. You have to tie it up with white twine because that does not evoke Xbox, or something ridiculous like that. I don't know what that could even apply to, but it's a thing that pulled off the top of my head.
I'd say it's probably just a very expensive lesson of just because you didn't send an NDA doesn't mean that you can do things that you think you can get away with.
Yeah. Anyway, finally, last story is, of course, about the wonderful racehorse Haru
But
Urara.
we didn't talk about Atari or Acclaim.
That's true. We were talking about Metroidvanias, and you talked about when you mentioned Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I thought you were going to say, "I bought a different Metroidvania. I bought Adventure Samsara because I want to see what it was
Oh
like."
yeah, we jumped past that story.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
That
there's
came
not,
out-
there's not much to it, but,
yeah.
you know.
At least though, hearing that only 12 concurrent players playing Adventure Samsara, and I was just kind of like, I feel like that tracks because I've been banging on this dead horse for a while. That
interesting.
Atari does not have cachet within the industry the way that all the people who keep buying Atari think. You know, it's like their day is done.
Okay.
And so you're like, well, we're going to do this, and we're going to make this, and people will be excited. It's like, I don't think that's going to happen, guys. So don't, your expectations, you need to start, your star went away. I feel like you need to spend some time building it back up again. And how you're doing it doesn't really feel like that's what's happening. So, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, the story about Haru Urara is not. There's a there just it's a tragedy, or just I wouldn't even say a tragedy, but it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
This horse.
It's a thing that has happened, and it's sad.
It's interesting from a video game perspective because of course she is represented in this other game, it is an interesting people gave her all this ryegrass fancy stuff, all this thing and stuff.
3,000 kilograms.
But of course the idea that like a horse could conceptualize why this food is coming.
Yeah.
I
when it
also
wasn't
want to
there
know
before.
they didn't feed all of that to the
No, the horse doesn't have to eat 100
horse.
tons of.
They fed it to other horses.
Yeah, yeah. They did. They shared. In fact, I
Like-
think what happened is when it all came through, if I remember the story correctly, is that the owners at the farm were like, "Thank you for this. We need to share it with other horses too, though, because Haru can't eat all this. Is that okay?" I think they just said, "Is that okay?" and then went ahead and fed
Yeah.
everybody anyway, because it's like, this is not going to last very long. But it's like, we hope that you understand, or is it okay with you? And people were like, we think that's a great idea, because she should have a giant party for all her friends where everybody gets to eat ryegrass.
Right. But of course, yeah, it's obviously
Horse
the
doesn't
whole,
know.
the whole, and especially in the context of the video game, right? It's explicitly anthropomorphizing
Yeah.
all this stuff, right? But yeah, it's nice that she was able to have this, and what somebody in the comments, or a couple people in the comments, thing which I was not aware of because I don't pay attention to horse racing, but the idea that the 100 and however many races that she ran,
Yeah.
113 races, is a really unusually high number of races for a horse to run.
Yeah.
Even if they were regardless of whether you're winning or losing, that's just a weirdly large number. And apparently
The average is 29,
once
30.
Something
she
like
got
30.
sort of started to get kind of popular and known, she was put into more and more races and stuff. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And also, some people in the comments did defend. It's not like she came in last.
No.
In all the races. She podiumed a few times. Like she was second and third a few times.
Yeah.
She didn't win, but it's not like she was not dead last or something. She's still a real fast horse.
Because that's why you keep racing a horse like that. It's fast enough to be able to continue to place her show, and it's kind of like, oh, if you can do that, then it makes sense that you'd keep training the horse and keep running the horse, because obviously she's good at what she does. But she was never like, I'm gonna pull ahead.
The best. I haven't played the game that
The mobile game that's
the mobile
really
game.
popular amongst some people.
But I was reading when I was going for images for this story. I was reading I saw a great review. I think it was on Aftermath. That was a review of the game, but also they were talking to people who are interested in who are sort of horse racing enthusiasts. And my favorite quote was something like, "This is the best horse racing game I've ever played. I just wish it actually had horses in it."
Yeah.
It's like, why can't they make a game like this with actual horses?
Like,
I don't want to play the stupid anime game.
When I played Pocket Card Jockey by Game Freak, which is it's a good game, like it's a really good game. That had a lot of those elements of you play the
solitaire with horse racing.
You play the solitaire parts, but you're doing things to try to enhance how your horse is running, so you can there's also like you're going to be able to the horse can only run so many races until it has to retire, and then you would get a new horse and you would train it up, but you would sire it from your previous horses, and so there's this kind of like there's this constant like I'm using this horse to do this, and then we'll do this, and we'll train this in the next horse.
If Pokemon has taught me anything, that's the point where you turn them into candy.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of what happened.
I mean, you might in the horse one, because that's how a lot of the idle games work. It's like, what do we call it in Love Live? Making a milkshake slurry to feed to the other girls.
So, do you want some spoilers?
Graduation.
Do you want to hear some spoilers?
Graduation to Slurpee.
I'm gonna in Uma Musume Pretty Derby, the anime, which came out like it feels like a fucking decade ago.
It was not a
decade.
decade.
Was not. It was like 5 years ago or something. But when that came out, I'm gonna share some spoilers from that. And if anybody is watching it, I'm gonna hold my mug up the entire time while I'm telling the spoilers, so you can mute this. And when I'm done telling spoilers, I'll put it down again. That's how we'll do the spoiler warning. So
the mug of spoilers.
So go ahead and mute yourself
if you care.
If you care by now. So in Uma Musume Pretty Derby in the anime, you follow Special Week, who is another horse. They're all horses. And she's training and she wants to win a race and do whatever. But she becomes good friends with Silence Shizuka, who is like, if I get her name right, and she's very top placed and she races very well and does whatever anyway. And then there's this, in one of the later races in the anime, Shizuka falls and hurts herself. And this is the point where I had learned that, wait, all the names of these horses are all based on actual real life horses. And then I was like, hang on a second. Silent Shizuka falls in this race and hurts herself. Oh no, I know what happens to horses when they hurt themselves. And so in the anime, she goes into rehab and she goes into like the thing of like waiting for her leg to heal. And meanwhile, Special Week is like, I wanted to race against you. We were going to race into whatever. We were going to stand on that stage together and sing songs, because they're all idol girls too, right? Of course. And so Shizuka trains and eventually comes back, and they're able to have a race, and Shizuka's able to do very well, and Special Week's able to do it. It doesn't matter because I just kind of gloss over this shit. But Suzuka, not Shizuka, Silent Suzuka, thank you. But in real life, Suzuka fell and did not recover, and they had to put her down, I think, on the race, or him, or whatever. I don't know, because I didn't check where the ear decoration goes, but they had to put them down on the racetrack, I think, too, or just off the racetrack. So that horse died, and yet in the show, they're like, she comes back and she recovers and she wins another race, and
they haven't said what's going to happen to the horse.
Harurara. I would think as a tribute she has to stay in the game, and people will just know and they'll get teary-eyed. So anyway, that's enough of that.
Anyway, it is a strange, it's one of those things. It's like, it's a strange thing, it's a strange world, but I like it. It reminds me a little bit of, there's been other games or other sort of silly, weird things that have resulted in, like, people donating a bunch of money to, like, plant trees or clean up the ocean, or do various other things where it's like you sort of, there's this amount of this sort of fandom that can be channeled towards something that is, obviously getting some fancy food for horses is not the most important charitable thing,
No.
but it's something in the real world.
This is the most important charitable thing.
Desert Bus?
Yeah. But it's like that idea of connect to something that resonates with a person, to be like, I love this and I want this to be a
sort
thing.
of taking that kind of gotcha game sort of Skinner box kind of not so good thing, and directing at least a little bit of it into something that is sort of making the world better in some small way.
And I like the idea of, a whole bunch of ryegrass showing up for Harurara. I'm sorry, I say a whole bunch, but again, I need to reiterate, 3,000 kilograms, over 3,000 kilograms showing up for one horse.
Not all at once.
Not all at once, but over, like pretty fast. Like it is all coming in, and just the idea.
A helicopter comes and just drops it.
Yeah, but I also like the idea of like some of these horses. Like there's only, apparently somebody said in chat, there's only 2 horses that are still alive from the original series that are featured in the original series: Daiwa Scarlet and Goldship. Oh, I love you, Goldship. You're so fucking weird. And the fact though that like you could. I don't know if they're going to do this continue. Like maybe the thing to do in the games is to say we're not going to feature new horses. We're going to feature horses that have either retired or have passed on, because maybe that will be like, we don't want people to get too attached to a real life animal in a farm somewhere.
Why they're not doing the child thing of just replacing the horse with another horse and keeping it with the same name.
Horses are very hard to make look the same.
I don't think that's totally untrue, but
you can put a mask on the next El Condor Pasa and try to pasa it off as the same horse.
Anyway, and then the final thing that we talked about in the episode Checkpoint, the coming up, was about Battlefield 6.
Yes.
Getting Battle Royale mode.
Oh, right.
Which I was thinking about.
That took me 60 seconds to write, by the way.
In a lot of ways, Battle Royale, like like a Battle Royale mode, is almost like the antithesis of like war.
Yep.
Like instead of like a bunch, like 2 sides fighting each other, it's a whole bunch of people just killing each other with one person left at the end.
It's the Hunger Games.
Or Battle Royale.
Or Battle Royale.
Yeah,
Right?
Literally what that is.
All of those things, yeah.
For those who haven't seen that movie, but
We have to have a newer reference than Hunger Games by now, right?
yeah,
It's just like PUBG or something.
I like that
isn't
we're
it?
using Battle Royale as the thing that we'll refer to it as.
But yeah, so they were sort of showing off this new, the new Battlefield thing. You'll be able to get like upgrades and stuff as you go. One aspect of it that I thought was kind of funny that they seem to be really emphasizing is the typical setup for a battle royale type game is you've got like the big arena, and then you've got a shrinking circle of safety. And they have, and so they're saying like Battlefield 6's spin on the mode will include what its development team calls the deadliest ring in Battle Royale.
Okay.
With urgent warnings as the fire approaches, soldiers will be pushed into more intense firefights as the game space continues to shrink.
Isn't that just a death ring? Like, how can it be more deadlier?
There's no jumping in and out of it, no using it for cover, no walking through it. If you get caught in it, you're done. Like in like PUBG and stuff, you take damage, but you don't like die immediately.
Oh, so you have a chance to get out.
There's a aspect of it that makes it feel like
staying right on the edge of the ring is a strategy.
Yeah.
To sort of, because people don't expect you coming from that direction. But just, I don't know, for some reason the idea, it's like the reason why in like say PUBG, the reason why the being in the danger zone doesn't kill you immediately or whatever, that's not like PUBG they haven't developed the technology to make
No.
that happen.
It's just the logic of the game.
Like that was a deliberate gameplay decision on their part.
Yeah.
Which it just seems like a weird thing to emphasize in the market, being like, our ring is more dangerous than any others. And it's like, they could make their ring more dangerous too. They just have to change a number.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, do people who play Battlefield 6 want a Battle Royale mode?
Everybody always wants a
and
battle
if you
royale
assume
mode.
that, yes, they really do want that because they like it in other games, do they really want the instant death one?
I don't know. So yeah, there'll be the Battlefield's twist on a classic formula. So you can expect to find all of the core principles of Battlefield taking place within this mode. Gadgets, explosive, destructible environments, and vehicles can be used to secure the win. Battlefield is no stranger to epic maps, and with this all-new map we've been built for the Battle Royale experience. It features a diverse array of tactical points of interest, each with distinct layouts and themes that offer unique gameplay opportunities. It's got, vehicles, tactical destruction. Destruction will be everywhere in this mode. From creating pathways through walls to toppling buildings. Look forward to see players' ingenuity with destruction, how to defeat your opponents.
God, man, ad copy sucks.
Yeah, it's a job.
So anyway, it's Battle Royale.
Yep.
So we'll see if that's what the Battlefield 6 people really want, that they haven't been able to get so far. So yeah, let's talk about some of the things that didn't make it into the episode.
Sure.
Starting with. Okay, so
starting with
Start
this
with what, huh?
light story.
So this has been there's a whistleblower, I guess, from Meta, who or a couple of people actually, two current and two former employees that testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee about Meta, that basically that Meta has not been doing anything to try to curb child sexual harassment and abuse
CSAM.
in their VR products.
In their VR products, right?
So the idea is that
narrow thing that we're talking here.
Yeah, in this case we're talking VR, not like Facebook.
Although Facebook probably not
Facebook
great either.
Too, yeah.
Yeah.
At the heart of the allegations interview with the German family. So where they're basically what this all comes down to is Meta is like, well, he said it's 18 plus, so what's the problem?
Yeah.
And then people are like, but people under 18 were using it, and we have records of them using it, and being contacted by people and being asked inappropriate questions and all this kind of stuff.
Propositioned.
And then we also, and now there have stuff about them. They have testimony and emails and stuff about basically saying don't do research into how many underage people are playing the system because they're not supposed to be playing the system. So don't do any research on it. That way we don't know.
Yeah.
Don't do any research on it. That way we can say that we don't know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Not a responsible way to run a platform, right?
And they
now part of the I did see in a paragraph that it's like it's not clear, like based on testimony where it's like, oh well, somebody's younger sibling was being sexually propositioned by somebody else in while using the Meta Quest. But it's not clear whether that was happening in Horizon Worlds, which is what Meta owns, or whether it was happening in another third-party product or whatever else. And it's like there are the nuances this is revealing about the development of it's like making yet another internet, right? It's like going to hang out on Neopets and having this happen to you, or like those kind of things.
To be honest, I'd be surprised if the number of people playing Horizon Worlds is enough to actually bother with anybody.
Yeah.
With kids actually wanting to go to it.
But. And this is like Meta should be doing I think Meta should be doing the research to know what's going on, because that might might inform them about maybe there are ways that we can mitigate this, obviously. But I think the concern is probably also we're trying to develop a product, we're trying to make a thing happen, and we know right now that the push from governments around the world is to age gate every aspect of the internet, and to basically shut down spaces for anyone who's a minority of any sort, to have anybody who's not a white person to have conversations in a safe place about things that affect their communities. Like these are things that are happening right now. We know that. See the conversations, see the laws, you see all the terrible short-sighted shit that's happening. And I'm guessing that's their motivation, is like, if we don't let anybody know this is happening, then we're not going to have to, put up a bunch of age gates and stuff on top of it and have to do a whole bunch of other whatever. It's like, yeah, but maybe also if you're developing something like this and it's a possibility for things to go badly, that you should be devoting resources that are just as important to try to squash this shit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, I want to, if I make like an arcade, for people to come play video games at, and I see like a skeevy dude hanging around all the time trying to hit on children, I'd throw that guy out and be like, you're fucking not allowed here, and I'll call the cops on you if I see this whatever happen, right? It's like, if you own a space, you have to be responsible for what's going on in the space in some ways. And all these companies are creating spaces that are so big and vast and reaching and have all sorts of whatever. It is extremely hard for them to ensure that they're not going to be taken advantage of in some way as well. This is an awful position to be in. On the one hand, it's like, I feel bad for Meta that this is happening, being accessed through their devices. At the same time, like, I don't feel bad for you at all, because you're trying to do this stuff and you're not paying attention to it.
And if anybody's got the infrastructure to actually address some of this stuff, somebody like Meta would be.
Yeah, it's maddening.
But the particularly damning, it says they have the thing where in official documents, employees were reportedly told that they should avoid saying kids, like we know for sure that they are kids. Oh. Instead, use alleged youth or alleged minors with young-sounding voices who may be underage.
Holy shit!
Because of course, it's a digital environment. Nobody knows who you could be.
Oh, and what if you're using a voice changer?
Anyway,
wow.
Some people just sound really young too.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Part of the reason why I marked this story.
Yes.
I mean, it's
the initial downer thing of it.
It's an initial downer. I will say the headline for this, which is former Meta employees allege the company squashed research into VR child abuse. I find kind of an amusing setup. It's like, why won't they let us work on VR
child abuse? Yeah,
there are so many ways that we could do things in VR that we can't do in real life.
It's like saying, give money for cancer, and it's like, no, give money against cancer.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the wording of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go from that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to Roblox.
Oh God.
But it's not about child abuse.
Wow.
Okay. And
it's about AI.
Yep.
Please hang out with this. ChillPoint.
You're
ChillPoint.
Really gonna make me work for it today, aren't you?
Yeah. It's okay. We'll get through this and we can talk about the Nintendo Direct.
Yes. So Roblox, they just had their developer conference.
Okie dokie.
And so they're talking about a bunch of tools they just released to help people make things in Roblox.
Sure.
Experiences, I think they call them. Anyway.
Right, yeah.
But they're really excited about their new 4D object creation system.
That's a 4D object.
So that's length, height, depth, and time.
The fourth dimension is interaction.
Not what I have on my card. Okay.
So I think we may have touched on this in a previous thing that Roblox has really been going deep. Or
Careful, Beach. They'll think you're bringing up the spoiler mic.
Yeah, it's fair.
They've been putting a lot of effort into they're really pushing Gen AI stuff.
Yeah.
And in particular, they're doing a thing which I don't know. I don't think a lot of other companies are pushing into, which is because they have this sort of platform thing.
Yeah.
So they want to make it so you can be like, I want a man, a little, it's like I want a character. And he's like this tall and looks like this and does, you write all the stuff in.
Yeah, I want a legally distinct Indiana Jones, yeah.
And then but then the trick here is that they want to actually make the Gen AI thing do not only make like a 3D model for you, but then you'll be like, I want this guy to be able to, run and jump. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually also sort of doing the like kind of vibe coding the interaction. That's what it means by interaction stuff.
Right, developing what the object is. So it's like
it's not only drawing or creating the assets, but it's also doing the actual interaction coding.
Okay,
is the idea anyway.
Oh, that also means though that then the generative AI has to understand. I want a thing that can run and jump. It's like, oh, this has physics, and that means that it also has gravity. Because it has to be able to jump, and if you have something jump, it doesn't just jump forever. It needs to be able to jump and come back down again. And it's just all those kind of inferences.
And I can certainly see that. I'm sure there's a billion platforming type things that Gen AI could be trained on. So
yeah,
I'm sure they could come up with something. As with all these kind of things, it'll probably be not as good as they want it to be, but they'll talk about it as being a big thing. The other aspect that they're working on that they're really pushing is text to speech and speech to text.
Okay.
And the integration between those two. Okay. In terms of like both for like translation and for generating, and also then of course you we can generate our script with AI and then do text to speech with AI and then do stuff. Basically, they want to be able to make stuff because, of course, for Roblox, the more experiences that are available on their system, the better. Yeah. On their service, and maybe those experiences will be AI slop or whatever. But one interesting aspect of this is like the Roblox is providing this AI to creators, right? Which is kind of interesting because presumably Roblox can tweak and train the AI to be making the kinds of things that they want creators to make, right? Which is possibly, good or bad.
There'll be hundreds of thousands of them in there, constantly giving prompts and constantly saying stuff about what the things they want to see in Roblox, and then the AI will start developing stuff they'll start getting more and more refined based on those ideas.
Yeah. Right. So anyway,
makes sense.
It's a thing that Roblox is really pushing for, and it's so difficult, right? Because it's like the idea of a kid being able to kind of create something. Yeah. Seems really neat. Yep. But of course, there's the larger sort of Roblox weirdness, and on top of the AI weirdness on top of that. So, conflicting, but I can see the appeal.
Whenever I hear stuff about this, I always think I want to not have the phrase catch on, but I always think all people want to do is Geordie LaForge this shit. They want to, just like in Next Gen, where you could just say, computer, make Trek, me a this.
You can say things like, hey, and Geordie does it a lot, where he says, make me a formula that does this, or make me a program that does this. Yeah. And it's shorthand fun tech magic. But I think and I think it would be really cool to, a lot of coding is based on go look at what someone else has done for code, copy and paste, and make tweaks and do whatever. If we do everything, and I don't do coding, so my knowledge on this is limited, but if we get into that phrase where we do everything, where you can just say, hey, make me a thing that does this, make me that. How long does it take before we run out of the knowledge set for when it fucks up that nobody can fix it because nobody knows what it's doing or how to fix it?
That's when we become Morlocks.
I mean,
And the Eloi will save us.
Even in Star Trek, programming, coming up with really interesting lifelike holodeck programs is a job.
Yeah.
Like, people have skill in that. So it's like, there is something there.
Yeah.
But
And I get the motivation of, well, we could be working towards that, where you could just have kids being able to take pre-existing components and then shoving them together. And like RPG Maker exists for a reason, and Nintendo's Game Maker Garage was like the thing of helping you explore the idea. And Super Mario Maker was also here's a toolbox and building stuff and doing whatever. And I'm like, I always thought that's what Roblox was in the first place. I haven't played it, right? It's just like, I always thought that was the whole point, is like we create a series of tools and a space, and then you are making your thing that you want to do in there.
So my understanding of like tools like that, though, that you're bringing up, like Mario Maker and whatnot, is that's not that different from when you have like an engine and a tool set that's made for people to make things with, because now they have their objects and they have whatever, but people still need to make those tools.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, you're right in that we may eventually get to a point where people are just so used to the idea of, I'll just vibe code this shit, and it's in a good enough way. We will run out of the people who are being hired to fix all the vibe coded stuff. That's a potential, like, that could lead to that, because you just might end up with there aren't enough programmers who are available, and that you won't have the money to be able to say, come in and fix this, because it's like there just aren't enough of us hanging about doing that. We all have our other jobs to do. But yeah, it ain't great.
All right, let's go to something fun.
Okay, promise?
I promise.
This isn't like a segue that's a trick?
No.
You're not gonna.
I wouldn't do that.
This isn't gonna be like a Silk Song thing where I land at the bottom of a pit that has spikes everywhere, and then the thing gives out, and it turns out there's more spikes underneath.
Or you go sit on a bench and you get completely.
You're not gonna make me rerun.
No. I feel like
no run backs.
Silk Song has given you some trust issues.
No, Paul. I trust Silk Song to do all that shit. I don't trust you to maintain.
When have I ever done that?
Last week.
This is about.
I'm sorry, the week before. There was no last week. I will be factually accurate.
There was BS and AS. There was before Silk Song and now after Silk Song. This is about game preservation.
This is about, game preservation. All 54 games that were available on iPod have been preserved. Now, iPod, not iPod Touch, not iPhone.
The one
We're
with the
talking
wheel.
clicky wheel iPod.
Hell yeah.
That was a good iPod.
I forgot that there were games for it.
Yeah, I played
But there
Solitaire. I think Solitaire was the only one I played.
There's like a breakout game where you like move the wheel
move the
back,
thing
and,
back
forth.
and forth. Yeah.
I apparently there was a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Okay.
There's a soccer game apparently.
Yeah, real
whatever.
soccer.
Yeah.
They people have. It's one of these things where there were some some efforts from classic fans to preserve playable copies of the games, and people were having a lot of difficulty because there was some sort of DRM stuff on it, so it's hard to pull things in. But they were able to. They basically created a sort of fake, or they created an iTunes account that was like a central iTunes account.
Yeah. Okay.
That basically anybody could use.
Oh. Okay.
On a virtual machine, and like made so everybody could use, and so it could be sort of authorized to access all this stuff.
Huh.
I don't know if they've actually had to. They actually also had to like crack the whatever Playfair stuff. Although I think it's probably already cracked at this point. But
Oh,
Anyway.
I love the idea. Gwaldhar says, "Are they putting the iPod games in the Playdate with the crank?"
Ooh.
That'd be
That'd be
I mean, they
fun.
could do that now.
Yeah.
The last game was Real Soccer 2009.
The last one they had to find.
That was the last game they had. That was the last game that they were still missing.
Okay.
So it is one of these great stories about like, somebody's like, I think these are worth preserving, and I want to do this, and having access to maybe a few games, and then kind of putting the call out for other people.
Right.
And in this case, they're saying there was he first was in contact with a couple people who had a bunch of games, and then they put the call, and little bits and pieces started coming in for everything, and then the laborious process of coaching people into how to actually do this transfer. 'Cause,
Right.
it's not straightforward, and this idea of people like having these games, but the iPod itself is dead.
Right, because somebody who's like, I own this thing, and it's like, great, but you did it the easy way. You bought the game through iTunes, and it went onto your iPod, and you played it. And then somebody be like, oh, I used to play that game. It's like, cool, I'll show you how. It's like, I'm not a tech guy. I don't really know how to do that well.
Can your battery even hold a charge?
And there's that, too.
He's saying, getting this Real Soccer 2009 was especially cursed. It says, multiple people came to me during this summer, and all attempts failed until one from yesterday. I even had a situation where somebody had a iPod Nano 5G with a playable copy of Real Soccer. But then when we tried to put it and access it in Windows Explorer, the recovery tools and tried the recovery tools, and the iPod NAND corrupted itself and went into like recovery mode. And
God damn. Oh, that's miserable.
and they're saying, in some ways, this is kind of a race against time, right? Because these people, the mechanical hard drives in these old, because that was the whole thing with the iPod, is that they were mechanical hard drives.
Yeah.
They're all dying, and they have managed to get them all, and I believe they're all up on GitHub now, including a virtual machine with instructions on how to run the emulator, and it's on Internet Archive and stuff as well. So
That's good.
They are preserved for all time. For as we always talk about with the game preservation stuff, it's like, are these games amazing? Probably not, but who knows what could be usefully gained from them in the future.
It looked like there was a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, this is... It's crazy to me to think that, like, what is available and what people were... There's a Song Summoner game. There's anything... Like, what's in here that's, like,
I think,
branded?
I think there's a Spore, like... the game Spore. I think it's the thing where like it's the like first thing of Spore where you're
Spore
like
creator,
where you're like the little amoeba running around. Like it's just that part of
Neat.
Spore that you can do anyway. Except, we've preserved so many stupid body pamphlets from early modern periods that are of great use now. Anyway, cool stuff. I think that's all. Oh yeah, the other story I had was that
it's a rumor.
There's a rumor, apparently a well-sourced rumor, that
always are
that the PS6, so that the next PlayStation thing will have a removable disk drive. So rather than having two versions of the system, they'll have the PS6, which is basically what the PS5 whatever diskless model is now,
right?
And then have a disc accessory that you can buy to put onto it.
Now that could be as simple as the Apple USB SuperDrive kind of idea of like, oh, if you want to buy a disk drive for your PS6, You can buy a thing with a cable, and you can just set it on top of your PS6, and boom, there you go.
I mean, it will 100% be like a proprietary thing.
Yeah. Or it'll be like didn't they do this with the? Isn't there like a PS5 Slim or something?
Yeah.
Where they were like,
you can buy a
thing that
PS5
could come-
without the thing, and when you attach it you have to go online or something
it authorizes
to
it
authorize
to
it
lock to your.
to lock to your device.
Yeah, and that might be where they
The
go
ones
from
that
there.
you buy that have the thing already attached, you have to authorize it to lock to your device. That's how they work.
Right. And maybe that is the idea. It's just like the PS6 will come out and it will just be this. It will be this this driveless model, and then you can buy an attachment that fits into the side. And
I
you have to
know
authorize
it's
it.
been
Who knows?
like, I guess, long enough for a PS6 to start dropping, but has it really been long enough for PS6 to start dropping? Like,
well,
the
development wise,
well, sure, but the PS5's been out for
Like it came out like at the beginning of the pandemic.
yeah, and
It's like
a
5
lot
years.
of a lot of games were PS4 and PS5 because of that, because people weren't sure if they were going to buy the thing. I feel like people are just getting a handle on the system now.
I feel
what possibly can PS6 do?
I feel like I've still seen games advertised as PS4 compatible. Like
Yeah.
PS4 games are still coming out.
A little bit. There's more PS5 only games now.
Right.
I have this sense. Yeah, what else can it do? Well, the PS6 can cost more. It's like,
Well, sure.
yes.
Well, that's I
But,
mean
like-
the rumor is that this is why they will be separating the disk drive so they don't
To try to pull
Yeah.
the
to
cost
try
down.
to pull the cost down a little bit.
My expectation is that I want to feel that they're gonna try to push it just a little longer than 7 years. I feel like that's what they're gonna do, and that's just vibes for me. It's because it's like everything about the PS5 was like, look at how insanely powerful this thing is, and it's like, yes, I believe you. Okay, so then why not let it ride for 7 or more years? But we
mean,
trolled that about PS3
They
as well.
did that with the PS4 though. Like they do that with every PlayStation.
I mean, it's especially since Xbox has kind of thrown in the towel in terms of I mean, not completely, but they've sort of dropped a lot of their platform exclusivity. They've, this mobile device is an Xbox.
Yeah.
This other thing is an Xbox. Like they're basically
Brand
not,
engineering.
They're not pushing the home console market nearly as much.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the Switch and the PlayStation have never really competed with each other, except for, time, I guess.
Yeah.
But in terms of, games and stuff, they're not really comparable.
It's funny because like the Switch 2, for like what it can do, I definitely feel like they'll get 6 years out of that. But in that 6th year, they will be like the new Switch or whatever it is coming out. They'll be like, we got 6 years and we're there, right? PS5 feels to me like you could go 7 before you have to say, oh, here's the preview of the thing that's coming out, and then basically you're making 8 years before the thing lands. I feel like PlayStation stretching that distance with the PS5, they might be able to get away with that, and then hopefully be able to bring down manufacturing costs enough, not prices, but bring down manufacturing costs enough, so it starts to feel like we have finally settled into this generation, despite launching during the pandemic, which made it very difficult.
I mean,
on
it's
people.
2025 now. I would assume that they'd have to last at least till 2028
Yeah,
so that they can get those costs down in other ways.
that is what I'm expecting. Is that by 2028 is when they'll be like, this is when the new one is launching. This is all speculation, but it's
ideally.
vibes. Like,
Ugh, God, I hate. Stop saying vibes.
it is the feeling I get. It is the internal, like, it is
No,
my
you've
assumption.
said vibe coding and vibe this and vibe that, and I'm tired of hearing the word now.
I will not use it for the rest of the thing.
Vibe coding is a specific term for AI coding.
But it is the impression that I get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from old news to super new news.
Yeah.
Because there was indeed a Nintendo Direct this morning.
Yeah.
And not just a little itsy bitsy teeny weeny 15-minute Nintendo Direct.
It was 61 minutes.
It was like one of the longest Nintendo Directs are usually pretty like direct.
Yeah, I mean, 15 minutes of that was just Mario's 40th.
Here's everything we're doing
here's
for
some
Mario's
really
40th.
weird stuff that no one's gonna like.
Oh
it's not
fuck!
gonna,
Right, it's Mario's
gonna be
40th anniversary.
It's like, hey, Mario. I get it, man.
You hit middle age.
Hit the big 4-0.
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
you start remaking. Yeah.
Wow. I'm only like a little bit older than Mario now. Not now. I mean, it's not like he's getting. It's not like our ages
Older
are
now.
changing relative to each other.
I am also a little bit older than Mario, and let's not forget Luigi.
But presumably, Luigi's younger though, right?
Yeah, he's the younger brother. That's true.
I don't know.
Okay,
What's his official?
He got a
Birth.
year, right? So he got a year of Luigi, and it was after.
It was
I
a
think,
terrible year. It was on the Wii U, man. Like, give him a proper year. Give him Paper Luigi. Give him something better than that.
Yeah.
It was about what you would expect with how Luigi is disrespected.
Then why does Luigi have the better games, Paul?
This is always the case. Yeah, let's give him a good year. Anyway, but yeah, I didn't actually watch everything with it, but you and Beach both did.
Sure did.
Yeah,
So,
I saw Beach finishing the assignment before ChillPoint.
What were you excited about?
Things I was interested in, like,
Get my notes.
because from the Mario thing, it's like, okay, Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm like, okay, that's cool that you're making that.
Is there also a Super Mario Brothers 2 like direct sequel to the previous?
I think this is
CG
that sequel.
movie? Oh, okay.
Yeah, essentially.
So Galaxy movie. So there, we know there's a movie.
Yeah,
coming
you know
out.
what was disappointing about them announcing that movie, other than Chris Pratt? Just the fact that they were like, hey, and these people are in it. And like, oh, the people who are the main characters are in the main character movie again?
Yeah.
You didn't want to tell us about Princess Rosalina?
I fast
anything?
forwarded. I was like, I don't, it's like, oh, it's the movie. Click, 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 click. Let's get to the actual news.
So I just recently played Mario Galaxy, having not played it before.
Now you can play too.
Exactly. Although now, of course, I should have waited for it to come out on the fancy version. But
Mario
anyway,
Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 are being ported to the Switch.
which is great.
Yeah.
But playing Mario Galaxy, the story, like Rosalina's story in Mario Galaxy, is basically Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like she's on Earth, and then like this alien star thing comes and is like, "Hey, we should hang out," and then she like goes off and is like hanging out with these other people, this star, and like becomes this big cool princess of the galaxy. So it's just funny that because then Chris Pratt is going to be in it. It's going to be
You can buy her book.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The book from
physical.
the game.
Or physical book?
So here's the thing: you're gonna want to play Mario Galaxy 2, I guess, and maybe Mario Galaxy 1 again, because the book has more pages.
Yeah. The book
in the game.
The game's book.
The physical game, the physical book, they specifically were like, you'll be able to order this. It won't have the new pages.
Yeah.
Which I do find a little weird.
I don't know why that is, but yeah.
Maybe they could have like pages that you could stick in afterwards.
Oh yeah. Like the Tunic instruction manual.
Yeah.
Other things that showed up. Yoshi is getting a new game.
Yeah, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book.
It's an interesting idea.
I mean, I was a huge fan of both Woolly World and Crafted World.
Yeah.
So if it's in that same realm,
No,
it's not.
It feels more
Not
like
like
Yoshi's
that.
Island.
feels more like Yoshi's Island.
I mean, also a fan. So
you're
sure.
you're going into a book to like. It looks like you're more supposed to kind of discover the world around you.
Yoshi's Bookie
Yeah.
World.
Well, so the idea is like, as they show it, it's like the book is like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff in me, but I can't read it, and I don't understand what a lot of it, like there's lots of information missing. So here's a portal, and you jump inside the book, and then you're like, I found this flower, and then I can eat the flower, and then Yoshi's like, oh, the flower tastes a little sweet. And then you find that flower again, and you're like, oh, well, I'll put it on my back, and we can ride around.
This is a flower with a face on it.
There's a
Paul.
flower with a face on it, right? So I'll ride around, and then I can like touch things, and I notice that the flower will change color when a certain thing happens, or then this thing other happens. And it's like you're exploring the world.
So is it more like puzzly? than like platforming.
I think there's a bit of that. It's a platformer, but it's like you have to figure out how to interact with your world in order to
it's
unlock
hard to
the
say because
things.
they showed stuff that felt like this could lead to a puzzle thing, but they didn't show any puzzles. They also showed some fishing, but it really does kind of
Fishing
feel
minigame.
like you're supposed to explore the world and fill it in.
Yeah, you're learning stuff about
Is
your
it
world.
a Yoshi LucasArts adventure game?
It's not point and
No.
click, but it does.
It's not a point and click adventure.
But it gives me that sense because it's like, if you jump through these bushes while you're carrying this flower, then this thing will happen.
inventory puzzles.
Yeah, so it might be a bit of that.
Yeah, that's not coming out till spring, so I assume we'll see much more about it in January.
The talking flower from Wonder. You can just buy that to sit in your house.
And it, like, has
it has
voice lines?
phrases and
Yeah.
voice lines. It'll
Can you
say.
put it into Quebecois mode?
You'd have to probably
I'm
buy
not
one that's
sure.
Quebecois. So keep that in mind because maybe you can. Because
like-
also it will just say stuff at random. Not when you press it. It will say stuff randomly.
Oh no. Does it? It would be cool if it had like a variety of sensors on it, so it could actually like react to things.
Oh yeah. I'm not because it just looks like it's static. It doesn't move around. It doesn't do anything. It's just a static thing that sits there. Very much feels like the from the Alarmo development
it was
division.
really like this direct had like a weird amount of, especially at the top, physical things that they were talking about because the book happened and then the flower happened and then like a lot of amiibos
Yeah, we were being shown. It's like, hey, look, we're still making amiibos because now that Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 are being brought out as a thing, you can get special Galaxy amiibos of Mario and the Rosalina.
or Kirby Air Riders amiibos, which let you switch the riders with the vehicles, which was kind of neat.
Fucking Skylanders.
I will say, okay, nothing against Sakurai. I think it's really cool that he got to do like a 50-minute direct on Kirby Air Riders.
Yeah,
It's really weird to see that happen and then bring them up. They bring it up here where they're like, oh, and we have these amiibos. Also, there'll be another Kirby Air Riders direct later. And I'm like, has he
left to
not?
say?
How much left of the game is there?
Yeah.
He just did one.
Yeah.
And it was massive.
It's super cool though that you'll be able to move like the Waddle Dees and the Kirby's. You'll be able to swap the stars they ride on, and more amiibo are coming. And it's like, oh, okay, so you'll be able to like pick and choose because you can boop them into the game, and when you do, the machine and the rider will show up in the game in that configuration.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
it's a neat idea. I'm not excited by amiibos most of the time anymore. I kind of want to get the Princess Rosalina one because I do like Princess Rosalina, and she's sitting in the chair reading the book with Luma's like hanging out, and I like that kind of thing. But
yeah, I mean, I'm also like only kind of I like Kirby, but I'm only kind of medium on Air Riders because it's not an actual like Kirby game.
I've heard though that like watching Sakurai talk about Kirby's Air Ride and then watching him talk about Air Riders, I was just like, he loves this game. Like, he
absolutely.
loves it so much.
Again, and he
really
can do
wants
whatever
people
he
to play
wants.
it.
It's just really weird.
He wants everybody who's ever played Smash to try Air
The
Ride.
new one looks a lot like Smash in design.
It has some elements.
In a lot of it's like, check out this rider and the like just.
Yeah, but he wants he's like,
Yeah.
you were a fan of this game that I made. I want you to be a fan of this other game that I made because I love it so much. But
Mario
I want
Wonder
more Kirby.
is getting a Switch 2
edition,
version with an extra multiplayer looking
4-player
park
co-op
thing, which I'm not excited about owning, but I am interested in the idea of us running a CTS off.
because
Yeah,
it's like
that could be really fun.
Here's like 4 of you on, as an example. You're all remember the stages where it's like jump to the beat. So now 4 of you are all standing on a platform, and you all have to jump to the beat to make the platform go up.
Yeah.
and then get to the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a bunch of mini games.
playing Mario Wonder with you and Corey was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah. So like I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool.
I think we have to talk about the fact that they just re-brought out the Virtual Boy.
Yes, we cannot ignore the Virtual Boy.
Sorry, it's so funny.
I loved how they announced it because like next some news about Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, and then it's like Virtual Boy.
They're like, you'll need the Virtual Boy in order to play these games. It's compatible with both the Switch and the Switch 2.
And when they said that, I was like, so what's that going to mean? And then they show, like, I forget his name, but they show I think he's the president, at an actual, like, he's at a Virtual Boy. But it's like, this must be the new one. This must be the one they brought out. It is literally, it sits on your desk. The back cracks open,
and you put your Switch without the Joy-Cons on it inside, so that your eyes can look through to the screen.
Switch or Switch 2?
Correct.
Works with both.
Works with both.
Also, when they showed it again, because they're like details of getting this are like coming later. Not only did they show this plastic thing on a stand that looks exactly like the Virtual Boy, there was another thing beside it that was like the cardboard version of the Virtual Boy.
And it's not just like it's a cardboard thing, because it's like if you turn it around, you'll notice that there's actual goggles set into the back of it. So it is like...
So it's kind of like the Labo thing, right? Like the Labo VR.
Yeah, I think that's
device?
actually why they're doing this, because there is that sense of, definitely showing off the pictures is a great idea. But does it make the screen only red? Yes, but my hope is that they'll allow you to change that, because they would have control over that. If it's going to be all red, that might suck. But wouldn't it be great if they're like, we can show it in any sort of shade that you want? It'll just only be one shade.
I have no idea.
Well, it would be like how they did the Super Game Boy, where you could like choose the palette.
Change your palettes and stuff.
I think it's funny because the Virtual Boy is like one of those things that we make fun of the idea that Nintendo doesn't want you to know they made that, right?
Yeah. And we went to the museum, and they have a section.
They had a section, of course they did.
And they had goggles set into the wall, so you could walk up to the wall and slam your head against the goggles, so you could look in and actually experience what goes on in the game.
They were at different heights, showing off TV screens essentially.
Yeah.
I did not put my face all the way up to the goggles because I don't trust other people.
No, because there's nothing there to help you wipe them out or do whatever, and there wasn't somebody standing there like constantly cleaning them or whatever. But
apparently there will be 14 games, which I believe is
all of them,
the majority of the Virtual Boys. I don't know if that's everything.
I think it's most of it. I think it's at least all the stuff Nintendo made.
I would dearly love it if there were people out there who made like homebrew Virtual Boy as a goof, turned around and said, I do have these Virtual Boy games that I developed for your system as homebrew. Can we do a release? It would be there's 22 in total. Okay, so there might be more coming.
Yeah, they might get them all up there.
But in order to play them in the 3D method that you would expect to be able to play them, you have to use the thing, because I believe it's going to show you the side by side, and then using your eyes to smash it together. That doesn't mean that you couldn't just, I'm sure, put it up on your TV screen to play it. It would just show two things probably side by side on your TV screen. Yeah.
I want to point out that Krafton showed a game that they're making called Dinkum.
Yes, Fair Dinkum.
Which Krafton is the people who make PUBG, right?
Yeah, and the people who don't make Subnautica.
The people who are
never going to
whether or not they're making Subnautica is a matter of the courts.
Dinkum looks really good.
Yeah, I figured that might be up Beege's alley. They said there was a demo today, so we could download that and see if you care.
Everything about it is inspired by Australia, like inspired by the ecosystem of Australia, and it's a lot about you're in this like a lot of this harsh, barren outback feeling landscape that you turn into stuff. And so, I've never heard of this before.
It's been on Steam apparently for a while.
Never heard of it. And it's just like, this looked really fun.
You have to understand, Beach's ecosystem is small.
I only look at what's on Nintendo platforms because that's all I
The only reason I bring it up is because I do think it's a game Beach might enjoy.
Yeah, and there's a demo, so I'm going to give it a shot.
Whereas I'm going to probably want to play Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. Because
I knew it!
Tomodachi Life.
Tomodachi Life is so weird.
Somebody like a week ago was like, hey, Nintendo just updated the Tomodachi Life copyright for some reason. Does anyone know why? And I'm like, because there's a new game, clearly, but...
It's such a weird game, and I kind of like it for it. Because it's very like, at least the one I played, because I don't think we've gotten, I think it's had a couple games, but we've only gotten maybe the one, is it's like you make a bunch, you put all your friends' Mii's in it. Right? And they run around, they kind of do things. You can't really control them.
Like it's the impression I got was like it's sort of like an Animal Crossing-ish thing where you're sort of like creating this world and sort of doing
Kind
things.
of, but you can't control your own me either.
Oh.
Like, it's very weird in the fact that things just kind of
It's
happen.
sort of an idle thing.
And a lot of times when you do things, sometimes it gives the impression that you are a giant looking down on them. Like,
Because you get to pick them up and move them.
in this one,
Yeah.
I don't think that was a
And-
thing I could do in the last one.
Except instead of like Sims or Animal Crossing characters and stuff, the characters are your friends.
Yeah.
Which opens up a whole can of.
Yeah, and some of that stuff is very awkward to watch. But I still think it's really fun and odd. And
Yeah.
I was going to say with the Virtual Boy thing, I'm definitely of the opinion that it's like, why are they bringing out do this now after all this time? Because they're seeing how popular it is and testing the waters for some other like 3D stuff that they want to do, I think.
I also think that there's maybe a little taste of like doing the museum, like doing all the work with the museum and acknowledging the Virtual Boy exists and like doing all the, creating merch for it and like doing all this, like, and setting up an exhibit and just having people like who worked there being like, this never got its due, obviously. It was not successful, but it's nice to be able to revisit it. And then somebody's like, we could just put it on NSO. I'm sure that came up and they're like, oh shit, yeah, we could do that.
I would argue that the Virtual Boy did get its due.
Yeah.
It was not. It was not good.
No.
Anyway,
but you know what
but-
is good?
Yeah.
Hades 2.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Console exclusive on Switch for a brief period of time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that means, because they said the release date was September 25th,
Yeah.
that it's likely their 1.0 release for PC is that too, right?
Right. Presumably, yeah, it'll be on Steam.
And I
stuff
guess
at the
there's
same
a
time.
digital and physical release coming for
Yeah,
that. They
Switch
announced
is
both.
Switch is doing their digital release on the 25th, but they said that there was a physical coming on November 20th.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got to get
So-
Silk Song done by then.
By the middle of November.
No, by
No,
well, I guess
but
depends on whether you're going to go for the physical or the digital.
At the end of September is like Final Fantasy Tactics, Paul.
Oh no!
I'm swarmed by things.
Why won't they let us not play video games?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm personally excited for more Hyrule Warriors. That we finally got a date for that
That's
for
true.
November 6th. So we'll find out how
November
canon that
6th.
actually really is. I don't
November
trust
6th.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no! We get to find out.
Okay,
what
so in
more-
the
more
last
Zelda
one,
Zelda,
they
whether
made
things are
they
canon
made
or
one
not.
for that was Breath of the Wild Center, and it felt like, oh, we're gonna get to see what happened 100 years ago, and we're gonna do these things, and then they added a time traveling robot, and they basically just that there's no way any of that's canon.
Yeah, they futzed around with it.
And
a
this
bit,
one,
but
they're
yeah.
like, oh, it's Tears of the Kingdom themed, and you're gonna go back in time with Zelda and see all the stuff that happened there that was alluded to in the game. And the
Oh, yeah.
marketing makes it sound like this is like canon events. And I'm like, yeah, but your marketing did that last time too, and I don't trust you.
Yeah, like
I'm still gonna play the game.
also-
I have a lot of fun with these games.
Also, time traveling robot.
I mean,
So
maybe.
what I think is interesting.
Oh no,
about
you can
this-
play a Korok.
That's right.
They said that.
You can play as a
I'll be
Korok.
a tiny little asshole Korok.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you can get Zonai devices and use them as weapons. And I'm like, of course, that actually a lot of this starts to track. What I think is very interesting about that is that because it is, you go back, Zelda goes back in time and meets, Sonia and Rauru and everybody else. And Link doesn't show up in this game. Unless they're going to do some sort of like specialized, we're gonna find somebody who's like that from the past.
They
and we're gonna
might
inject it
give
into
us
whatever.
that weird looking hero outfit.
Yeah.
Spoilers, I guess.
But there's just this thing of this exists, and it would be damn near impossible. They'll find a way, but it'd be damn near impossible to put Link into it as like your first option to play as. And I think that's yet another thing of the establishment of Nintendo. Link doesn't have to be at the very center of the Legend of Zelda every single time.
no, he doesn't, and we should stop doing that.
Yeah, it's really nice to be like Zelda can be at the center of these games because we want to have more opportunity. And I mean, Echoes of Wisdom was published by Nintendo but produced by Grezzo, I think. Grezzo
Yeah,
did that.
yes, that was a Grezzo one.
Yeah, and so it's like here's Koei Tecmo doing Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, where Zelda's going to be at the center of that, and I'm kind of like, I wonder if this is a thing where it's like we're really feeling out if we're comfortable with this or not. So yeah,
We'll see.
It'd be pretty cool. The
Let's
ancient
see.
hero may show up, but the ancient hero I thought had red hair also too. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I feel like they put him in there somewhere. For those of you who really like Stardew Valley, your Switch 2 edition will have mouse controls
And polycule mode.
and game share, and what Beach is calling polycule mode, which is a 4-player local split screen,
Yeah.
which is still pretty interesting.
How else are you going to get 4 people together to play Stardew Valley in the same couch?
Yep.
You're going to have to form a polycule.
There are no families that have 4 people in them.
Power Wash Simulator 2 was only given a fall 2025 release, which, I mean, come on. What the? It's September. It's September. If you thought Suika Game was gone, it's back as a planet.
Yeah.
So
Super Mario Suika game.
there's that. Hey, Beach, how'd you like that Metroid Prime 4 trailer?
That was, I didn't know what the hell it was. I was fast forwarding through it and I'm like, there's just some weird, like, creaky whatever. And this, because I was watching the thing reasonably fast and skipping through stuff that didn't matter. Like, when a trailer would start, I'd put it on 2x mode by holding down my finger. And I was just going, and I'm like, there's like a futuristic motorcycle, and there's like a hand gets into the thing, and I'm just like, okay, this is whatever. And then it like takes off, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Metroid. Like, because it's just lost me entirely. And then it's like, oh my, okay, but why are they making a Metroid motorcycle game? And then after she jumps off it, I'm like, oh, they're not. It's actually just a part of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Part of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Perhaps, maybe, future DLC for Mario Kart?
No problems there. Don't mind that. I mean, they did kind of seem to abandon the idea of putting non-Mario characters into Mario Kart World.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
But I mean, they started without Mario, started with only Mario characters in the last one, and eventually they got there.
I mean, I feel like the motorcycle, like Metroid or Samus on a motorcycle, it kind of fits, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine in previous games when she was off, like when she wasn't on screen, she might have been driving a motorcycle. Like, she seems
yeah.
like the kind of person who would have a cool motorcycle. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm saying.
I feel like this motorcycle, though, is one that she has to ride in her suit. I feel like if she was just in her Zero suit or just in like leather jacket on her day off, I'm like, I don't think that really. I feel like she doesn't fit on it properly,
is an integral part of the interaction,
or that motorcycle looks incredibly dangerous to ride without like some actual decent like garb. So anyway,
The thing I've mentioned in chat a number of times, and I do think it is probably my favorite thing now that I've talked about it more with other people. Pokemon Pokopia.
Pokopia, which so for those who don't know,
is that different than the?
That's the Ditto one.
That's the Ditto one?
That's the name of the Ditto one.
A Ditto, they show in the trailer, a Ditto wakes up and sees a Pokedex and then Dittos itself into a human-ish looking thing.
Yes.
And then walks around on the island, meets a Bulbasaur, and is like, oh, that's cool. I've met it. And they can converse because they're all Pokemon, so they can speak actual full sentences to each other. And then is like, oh, I've got a great idea. I've just met a Bulbasaur, so I'm going to turn my human arms into weird noodly Bulbasaur things, and I'm going to use it to plant grass. I'm like, oh, shit, it's body horror. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Okay, yeah, I mean, so there's that. The creepy thing I want to point out for anyone who's seen the trailer is the Pokedex, like, it's the old style Ash Ketchum Pokedex from season 1.
Right.
Is laying on the ground. The human person is kind of like
Obscured
glared
in
out a
mud.
little bit.
Yeah.
But there is a little Ditto next to them, which, as far as I'm concerned, means that was the Ditto's trainer
Yeah.
that they're pretending to be now.
Yes.
And where is their trainer?
Yeah.
Why is that Pokedex just laying there like that?
Clearly dead.
They did not make it.
It's 10-year-old dead girl somewhere.
Yeah. So it
basically looks a lot like Animal Crossing in a lot of ways because it's like rebuilding this island. It's all squarish, but it's just the way that they're building stuff out gives it that feel.
The other thing that there's a small amount. Again in the context of the Pokemon world, at least in what we see in the demo, or in the trailer, the idea that a Ditto is doing all this stuff and then like making this cool little world society for the other Pokemon, and you know they're making this place. It's got like a house and like a little bed and all this stuff, and it's like that's all happening without like human intervention, which kind of goes against like if Pokemon can just
start a society like without us.
Paul, they can. They have done so several times in previous games.
Have they?
Yeah, specifically the Mystery Dungeon games.
Oh, I haven't played Mystery Dungeon.
They're really good.
But that means that when you see them in like Legends or in like the mainline
but
games,
like
they just live in nature.
But like that means that makes the idea of like catching Pokemon a lot more like kidnapping.
Yes.
Than like we're gonna rescue these Pokemon and you know we're gonna have fun together because they're our pets. And it's like if they were like I was on my way to work and then this kid grabbed me.
Yeah.
And now I have to fight other Pokemon.
Yes.
This
has always been true.
Except that I think the Pokemon have it right that maybe in ancient times like they had formed their own societies and then at some point were like this fucking sucks. Get rid of this capitalism bullshit. Let's just go live in nature. And then they did, and everyone's been very comfortable. And then the humans were like, no, we're gonna come along and capture you and make you do stuff for us. And they're like, oh well, this is fine and everything, and we don't have to do it because they'll just feed us.
We invented capitalism again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I posted a picture on my Blue Sky account of this Ditto-faced human, and I say Ditto-faced because, as someone has pointed out in chat, there's literally one episode in the anime where the Ditto can't make its face look any different.
Yeah.
Right.
That has spawned a whole line of merch.
Yeah.
But like,
right.
I posted this picture from the trailer of the Ditto with the grass arms, and I wrote, "This is the best representation of a human being I've ever seen."
To be honest, when I first saw the premise of this, I was kind of hoping it was like an Octodad situation where like you're a Ditto pretending to be a human.
Don't let anyone know.
You have to try to like make your way through the human world without people knowing.
I like that because we talked a little bit. I'm like, we could have just seen like Pokemon Poke Park 3 kind of thing. Like they could have just been like, we're making a new Poke Park, all the Pokemon get together and hang out and have fun and they do things and you wander around. But instead they were like, we want to make like a builder out of this. And as people point out, it's Koei Tecmo, who also worked on Dragon Quest Builders too. I believe.
That makes sense then.
And so it's like, I like that they said, what if we make this a real Animal Crossing feeling experience? And because it's clear like you can move the camera and stuff, but at a certain point in the trailer, they lock off the shot to be very Animal Crossing feeling. And you watch everything get built and it's like, yeah, I'm sure you can move the camera around in game, but for showing us what's happening, I think you're trying to evoke a certain feeling of classic Pokemon only being like in one like top-down-ish kind of view, but also make it feel like it's a cozy Animal Crossing style game with planting food and building houses. And
I've seen Dragon Quest Builders is the other sort of example people talk about.
Yeah, I did see someone suggested to me the idea that they had at first thought that we were going to get a game where a Ditto pretends to be a Pokemon trainer and does trainer stuff, and that leaves a whole bunch of different questions.
Yeah,
but I also would have been up for that.
Yeah, because of course, as you say, you know, there's the one Pokemon in the show or the one Ditto in the show that can't do the face right.
Yeah,
technically speaking, Dittos can, you know,
they're perfectly able to mimic things.
They're the thing creature from the thing, like they can. There's no way to know whether most of the characters who you interact with in the Pokemon games were in fact replaced by Dittos.
Yeah.
Maybe we've all been replaced by Dittos in real life.
I certainly feel like it sometimes.
Anyway,
there's also a new Fire Emblem coming, but I mean, they didn't hardly give any information about it, and it's like 2026.
It feels very like Roman conquerors.
And they did show off more Pokemon ZA stuff too.
They did.
Yeah.
ZA.
And there's paid DLC for that, and the game hasn't come out yet, but they've already
Right.
announced paid DLC.
That was disappointing.
And they
I
announced
guess
the paid DLC for
Donkey
Bonanza.
Kong is getting paid DLC. At least that game's out
Yeah.
already. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I know
don't
Pokemon isn't the first game to announce paid DLC before the game is out, but it still is not a trend
It's
that
just
I like.
It's not a trend I like.
God,
And I haven't
wonder-
seen. I need to read the reviews of this game because I don't know if it's gonna be focused on a thing I care about or not. Which
The Pokemon.
I really liked the last Legends one.
I wonder if the
Is this Legend style or is this more?
It's so Legends CA is
Oh, it is
another
Legends?
Legends game,
Oh,
but
okay.
the last one was you got Izakai'd into the past, and then your whole thing was like getting the Pokedex filled out for
right.
the first time, and they had a variety of ways you could do that. And I really liked that idea of trying to essentially research Pokemon to fill out a Pokedex and learn about them and be in this time period where people don't really know what Pokemon are and are freaked out by them. This one looks a lot like we run around a city and get into gang fights with Pokemon, and I'm not so sure I'm up for that vibe.
Like it definitely looked a lot like Scarlet Violet to me, especially like
Also,
the
everyone's
the
wearing a
city
terrible hat.
stuff. But
There better be better hats.
I'm especially curious to know what the multiplayer stuff is in it, if there is any.
I wonder if the reason why Mega Dimension, which is the
Mega Dimension.
It's the paid DLC.
The Mega Dimension.
Yeah,
Mega
they're
Dimension,
giving
Mega
they're
Dimension,
doing
Mega
like these.
Dimension.
Raichu has 2 Mega Evolutions, which is very weird.
Yeah.
And they're done in like
calling them X and Y. I
X
think.
and Y style, which I honestly thought we were getting another X and Y weird thing.
But I'm wondering if about that, like we
Wooloo.
don't
I'm
really have
glad
much
they didn't.
detail.
I'm glad they didn't make those announced before that quiz I had to do on Tuesday.
I wonder if the reason behind that is because there's something pushing their hand to have to announce it now, like whether they saw a leak coming and they're like, we have to say something about it, or whether it's by the time the game hits, the DLC has to come out at the same time because we have another marketing angle, like we have merchandise we have to create, we have to hit some sort of other timeline, and so we actually have to announce this now because other things depend upon this coming out at this point.
Maybe
It's becoming more common to do that.
Pokemon's done that quite a bit recently too, I think, but I'm not sure.
Wooloo Mega Evolution when?
It might also just be that they got Mega Dimension done so fast that they're like, shit, just release it at the same time, as opposed to like, it's not ready yet, we need to give it more time before we can actually release it. And they're like, no, shit, we're done. Maybe that's why.
It was the thing when I forget what game it was. Was it Street Fighter or something? Whatever game it was, where the DLC not only was done, but was actually on the disc.
Yes.
But
that's just part of the game.
It was just locked.
Yeah.
Behind a thing, and they didn't actually release it until later.
Yeah, don't like that.
Anyway, yeah. Was there any other?
There were some smaller games announced. There was like the Linked and Stormlancers.
I don't care about any of those.
And there's a bunch of they also announced a bunch of like Switch 2 updates for games.
A couple things,
A
yeah.
couple things there.
Little Nightmares 3 was announced, and Overcooked 2 is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and one of the One Piece games is getting an NS2 edition, and yeah, it's just like there's a lot of the other bits
They're
and bobs.
remixing Danganronpa 2,
Right.
2x2,
which is weird. I don't know. It's just a weird thing to do.
Because
I don't-
It hasn't been that long since they.
Well, they
did a
released
remake.
a pack of all of the games for the Switch for 1, 2, V3, and some other things, and nobody talks about that fourth one that was a shooter.
Fatal Frame 2 is getting a remake.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting, like especially when it started, it's like, oh, the Crimson Butterfly. I'm like, wait, I know what this series is. I don't play it, but I know what the series is.
Two frame.
But it made me like when I saw that, I was like, okay, so they're remaking that game. I like that Fatal Frame exists because it's one of these things where, like, because I've heard you guys talk about it from playing from like on the PlayStation, like from like a long time ago.
That was like the original one.
Yeah, and I like that there's some people here who played that and were like, I remember this thing and remember it being interesting and whatnot. And then it seemed like that game was never going to exist anymore. Like it was just like, we're done making Fatal Frames. And then Fatal Frame 4 got made for the Wii only. And I was like, holy shit. So the people who who made this game and like this game decided that they wanted to bring it on the Wii specifically. And then for Spirit Camera for the 3DS to actually be a Fatal Frame game, I was like, well, that's interesting
Was
too.
it the Wii or was it the Wii 2 or the Wii U?
It was the Wii, because Fatal Frame after Spirit Camera and like Fatal Frame 4 and like all that kind of stuff. Then when Fatal Frame 5 Maiden of Black Water got announced specifically for the
Okay.
Wii U, it got me interested because I'm like, that means to me, it's like there are people who developed this game, which was a PlayStation only game, who looked at Nintendo's faltering console and said, but we like the gimmick and we like the idea of having like the camera obscura being on like your pad so you hold it up to capture whatever. And I was just like, I love that there's people out there who still have faith in the system and still want to be a part of the thing. That's really cool. And so when Maiden of Blackwater got brought to the Switch, I was like, again, reiterating that these people like this platform and like the stuff that's available. And now that Fatal Frame 2 is getting a remake, I'm like, I wonder if they'll also have a camera obscura mode where it's like you can play handheld and you can move the thing around or whatever. Like, I do think it's interesting.
I think the Let's Note guys have played most of the Fatal Frame games, if
Yeah.
not all of them. Yeah.
So now there's an opportunity for them to
Yeah.
play the remake of 2 if they haven't done it. So
Yeah, I mean they're bringing Final Fantasy VII,
yeah,
Right,
integrate.
the remake, Resident Evil
Oh,
Requiem.
Mario Tennis Fever.
Yeah, Mario Tennis with babies.
Like when they said
With the story.
I was skipping forward and I was like, whatever, and then Saul's like, and then they all turned into babies, and
This
I'm
is
like,
what happens when you leave your homework so late.
and I was like, what is this game? And then watch a little more of it and like, oh my god, it's Mario Tennis. They made an adventure mode where you fight enemies with tennis, and I was like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because of course you do. Because they do that with golf if they could. Like it was like, oh shit, this is a brilliant idea.
I mean, I would definitely like.
Play Golf Story.
I mean, I played Golf Story.
Exactly.
I would play a Mario version of Golf Story.
So the last Mario Golf
100%.
game, I think it was the last one, did have a story mode.
Oh, okay.
Did you get to like do cool things like you do in Golf Story?
Not the same way.
Yeah.
Is it just like there's a little bit of story between a bunch of the
You're
courses?
you're yourself, for one, and you are basically joining golf camp to be like the best of the golfers, and you're learning from the best golfers out there, the Mario crew.
Ah.
You have to go defeat like I don't know. Do you defeat Bowser? I can't remember. I remember at one point being like disappointed in the story. I wouldn't recommend it, honestly.
So
Alright.
overall feeling on the direct, I'm like B plus. Like I'm like, this was a pretty good direct.
It was
Some
fine.
Interesting ideas. Like nothing too earth shattering happened. You know.
I mean, it was mostly like it sounds like it was mostly. Well, I mean, they announced quite a few. New
They
things,
announced
but
a number of things. There was a lot of stuff that people were waiting on.
a lot of the
for,
big sort
like,
of hype stuff.
Short-term stuff, like there's a couple things I was waiting for dates, and I have those now. But a lot of stuff was also 2026 spring, so
But that's to be expected.
you know, kind of. Well, yeah, but it's one of those things where I don't care too much about what's happening in 2026 yet.
Right. It is less than 6 months away.
All
I
sorts
know.
of things could happen in 2026.
But
I mean,
not
spring
all
2026
of,
is
not
less than
all
6
of
months
these
away.
games are landing in January.
Yeah. Yeah. They're landing in spring.
Yeah.
And
And it's fine to know about them. I'm not going to care until we get closer to that.
Maybe Nintendo won't even be here in 2026. We don't know.
there was nothing like whenever they announce like a Mario sports game, I'm like, well, that's neat, but I never get like completely like, oh my god, like that kind of thing. And yeah, it was like it seemed like a lot of here's some new stuff you hadn't heard of yet. Oh, cool. Like Pocopia was the one thing where I was like, this looks like a really fun idea, and I'm not going to play it. But it looks like a really fun idea. And like,
I mean, there's some stuff I thought was weird about the Direct, like the fact that they kind of just put the Metroid Prime it's the Metroid Prime trailer is one of the only trailers that they put up, and then they don't go back to the guy saying anything, and they don't show off other parts of the game, and they just go on to another
Feels
trailer.
like a tease.
And it kind of feels like we don't care.
Sort of maybe it was like a late entry.
My take on it was because their massive hype moment was when they did it the last time, and this is just we're showing more information. And I'm like, right, so maybe when it's got a launch, like an actual, like we're going to launch it, then we'll actually do like a dedicated.
Oh, sure,
thing
I'm
about
sure
it,
they'll
but-
do that, but
yeah.
they got a date.
Yeah.
You know, that was the exciting piece of information.
Yeah.
Also,
It just kind of it just felt like they threw it out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was what was cool in news this week.
So some of that news was not cool, Paul.
That's
it's
what was
not
worth,
cool
what
at all.
was worth talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Here
will
is the
accept
stuff that happened.
But
Those are things that happened.
This stream has 22 days. Actually, it's really just 7 days. This hour had 7 days.
Oh, your 22 minutes thing?
I thought you were making a countdown.
You know the reference they're making though with this hour is 22 minutes is actually this hour has 7 days. That's where that's inspired from.
Oh, I did not know.
I don't know what that is.
There was a news program that ran on the CBC decades ago that was called This Hour Has 7 Days, and it was basically putting together the entire week.
You say decades ago. How many?
Like the 1950s and 60s, I think.
Why
is
would
when
I
this
know
ran.
this information?
It was a thing that ran. Well, I mean,
I did not know that.
Radio Canada became CBC's like with the TV and whatnot. I think in like 1954. So technically, it would have been like into the 60s. But anyway, someone in the chat who's from Canada will tell me. So
Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks for supporting us in all the ways that you do, either here on YouTube, or here on Twitch, or on YouTube, or just following the channel, or saying hi, or putting a comment down below, like what part of the Nintendo Direct did you get most excited about? Answer this question.
go to the Discord and do the same thing.
If you want to be angry about
When the video
Nintendo
gets posted.
and you're like, I don't like anything they do, maybe just what game are you excited for next? That's good too.
Yeah, do that.
So we and everybody will see you later. Bye.